Hip hop is saying no thanks to Post Malone.
Yeah, I'm hopping at the cutting, hush puppy on me, paparazzi flocking. All my money clean, not a thing staying on me. I would pop a bean, 2016 starting. All them bad punk bitches gon' rock to this. All my gang affiliated gon' walk to this.
Lights up, mics up. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Welcome back to Talking Facts. Gang, listen. I know this is going to sound a little mean. This is going to sound a little out of place, a little judgmental. But if you know me, you know I live and die, I breathe, I stand for hip-hop. And I was one of the first and loudest voices, I'm going to say, in regards to Post Malone being taken seriously as a rapper. Once I understood the situation and his assignment in this space and how quickly he jumped to the other side of where he really was at in the first place, I felt like he used hip-hop to propel himself into the industry very quickly, and then he went where he wanted to go, which was country, rock, and whatever else he was doing over there. Now, I was one of the first people, one of the loudest people back when that became apparent to me that, okay, if that's how you want to play, then that's how it is. Go over there on that side and stay there. Hip-hop is a culture that we take seriously because it's an art form that was created for us, by us, for lack of a better term, and we don't play around with it. We, no matter what your race, color, or creed, we really take offense when people jump in here and get paid really quickly, excel themselves to another level, and then decide that it's not worth it for them to stay in this culture. Black or white, I have been vocal about other people that I've seen, such as Big X the Plug, say the exact same thing, that I am not just a rapper. He wants to go into country, and a few other people that I've seen kind of jump back and forth. Now, even on my own podcast, The What Show, if anybody watches that podcast with me, Fliz, and TJ, I have faced pushback even on that show in regards to not putting labels on people and saying who can and cannot be a part of the culture, who can and cannot make hip-hop music for that regard and things of that nature, and who can or cannot be accepted to be an artist that switches genres. And I understand that point as well. People can switch genres and jump around and try different things and experiment because rappers do the same thing. But at the same time, when we see that you jumped in here, pretended to be the white Iverson and got all this respect from this culture, made a lot of quick money, but then never returned, it's going to be, I don't know how many years it's been. We got an article here that we're going to get to that. But all of a sudden now you're going to come back into our culture and try to make a new hit record. You got a double disc CD, and now you want to experiment when clearly for years it was obvious that it was almost, to me, a disdain for our music where you didn't even acknowledge that we existed. To me, just my personal opinion. So in my humble thought process, I feel like if a person has shown you that they really don't care about your culture, you should believe them. And you shouldn't let them come back in and out when they feel like it, make another bag, and then go back over there on that side. To me, stay on that side. Okay? I don't see a love and appreciation. I see more appreciation from a Justin Bieber. Just gonna be honest. Justin Bieber has never went to one side and stayed there for a decade and then come back and try to do hip-hop. We see Biebs everywhere with everyone in this culture for years and years and years. At his highest, at his lowest, Biebs has never, ever turned his back on this culture. I feel like Post Malone has. Someone can get in the comments and correct me and show me where I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I think this is a ploy. Now, we can say, okay, Challz, just put a snippet up. It could be just that he's testing the waters to see how we feel. Well, we got Jack Harlow and a lot of other people out here testing the waters to see how they feel. They can dip their toe in and then go back to what they want to do and do all other kind of things. And circle back in another 5 years as if this thing is just a money pit that they can just jump in, grab a whole bunch of money out of, and run off on their merry way. I'm not having it. I'm not standing for it. The culture shouldn't stand for it. And a lot of people are being vocal about this. They feel the same way that I do. But I'm going to, for shits and giggles, I'm going to read this so we can all get a better understanding of what's going on. The first article I want to read is the Hot New Hip Hop version. Aaron A. put up a post, and I want to read that. Post Malone teases a hip-hop return and gets flamed immediately, as he should. Again, like I said, I know some people are going to say, Challz, this is mean. You're being a little harsh on the guy. He just wants to make his music. I'm not looking at it that simple. It's not that black and white. Yes, he wants to make his music and shit. Anybody could come in and make a hip-hop record, right? We've seen a lot of people do it. Right? We've seen people come in, get a hip-hop vibe, this, that, and the third. But it never feels this icky to me as it does when it comes to Post Malone, because I don't think he cares about the culture. I don't think he has any love for it, because he walked away from it so unceremoniously, and now he wants to come back years later and do a record or two. I don't like it. But let me continue. Post Malone is back in his hip-hop bag. After propelling his career through hip-hop and then transitioning into rock country artist, it appears that Post Malone is back to square one. The musician recently took to social media where he previewed a brand new song that returns to his hip-hop bag while smoking a cigarette and downing a Bud Light. Quote, that one mofo that don't know when to leave, he captioned the post on X. That's him getting out in front of the backlash. That's him getting out in front of the comments that are surely going to come and say some mean things to him about him trying to do rap and hip-hop, this, that, and the third. Had he shown an appreciation for it, to me, it would be easier. This wouldn't make as much noise. It wouldn't be a problem. But it feels like this is, let me just dip my toe back into that little space that I once knew at one point in my life. Let me continue. As you could imagine, there's been a variety of responses to the snippet. For the most part, people feel like it's a rather shallow attempt to regain footing in a genre of music that propelled his career, which he eventually abandoned when it seemed less profitable. However, many Post Malone fans also believe it's a step in the right direction. The reality is that a lot of Post Malone fans don't care about hip-hop in the first place. So the snippet was naturally met with some resistance from hip-hop heads, and rightfully so, because this is what we do. We comment. we take offense to certain things, and we're going to let you know and know in certain terms that, we're not jacking it. But there are going to be some people, even inside this culture, that are going to accept this eagerly because it's going to have a nice mellow feel to it. It's going to be some party vibe music, and some people are going to like it. And some people don't hold this culture in any regard. Some people look at this thing as just another form of music that you can do whenever you feel like, and you can dip your toe in, dip your toe out. It's almost like they look at it as just buying a keyboard, buying a turntable. You could just do it, pick it up when you want, leave it down. This is not how we feel about this. This genre has been overlooked and maligned for mad years. We had to fight to get them Grammys. We had to fight for a lot of different spaces, award spaces. Hip hop didn't used to have its own shelf space in the record store. We had to fight for a lot of things that just came natural for other genres. We got to fight for Billboard spots. We got to fight for everything. Anything that we get is a fight. They don't want to give it to us. We had to fight to get our videos on MTV. Just being black is enough, let alone hip hop. So we don't take it lightly when you dip your toe in because you feel like it. Let me continue. Quote, yes, Post Malone, the ultimate culture vulture. This is somebody on Twitter. Dude went from metal to hip hop to pop to country, one user wrote. Bro used an image of what he assumed a black rapper was to gain profit, then separated himself from it saying, I'm not a rapper, I'm an artist. Once he started to become a household name. Now he's making hip hop again. Bro, F Post Malone, another user wrote. And that's what my problem was a couple months ago when I said Big X the plug was about to be a culture vulture too, because he went and gathered up a whole bunch of country singers, a whole bunch of guys. He's going to make a country album. And he said that on that podcast, I'm not sure the name of the podcast. I think it was the two guys from the New York Times. I think it's those two guys, right? The guys that get all these guys in trouble, same guys that got Jack Harlow in trouble. I think he was on their podcast, and I believe he said, I am not a rapper, I'm an artist. That's what they start saying before they leave the culture altogether. After they make a nice size bag and they can pay a lot of bills, then they go and run the country and then run the rock. I feel like they're using this art form. But let me continue. Post Malone to perform at the FIFA World Cup closing ceremony. The snippet comes right before Post Malone is expected to touch the stage this Sunday to close out the World Cup. FIFA announced Posty as the headliner for the closing ceremony and will be joined by Tom Cruise and others. That sounds like a guy that got a whole lot of other stuff going on in hip-hop. He really don't need this culture. And if it flops and fails to him, oh well, it doesn't really matter. He doesn't need it. All right, let me read this other article because there's more information to this that I feel like it is painting such a picture of a man that really, this is an afterthought. People that like myself that sit and write these rhymes and go over these beats and make these concepts and try to keep this thing thriving. We do these commentary videos about the culture all day, every day. We keep this thing alive. At this point, we're the culture. right? At this point, we're the reason he could come back and dip his toe because we keep this thing alive with the commentary and make people care about what's being said. So this is why I have a problem with this. I don't like it. I'm just going to be honest. Again, like I said, I know it's a little mean, and a lot of you are probably scratching your head. Like, Challz, why are you so upset? End of the day, I take this shit very seriously. I take this hip-hop very seriously. I don't like people playing with it. I don't like people making a mockery of it to me. And just because you can get a producer to make you a hip-hop beat, and yeah, you can turn on some auto-tune and flow, I don't think that makes you a good rapper. But let me continue. I'm going to go to the Complex News article. Post Malone seemingly teases a return to rap after a lengthy country run. A snippet of a song shared by Post, and it has people wondering if he's returning to his old form on the upcoming album, The Eternal Buzz. We'll see what he does. After spending the last few years away from hip-hop, it looks like Post Malone is coming back. A video shared on social media on Thursday has Post vibing out in the studio to a song that's reminiscent of his earlier work, a clear departure from his previous two albums, the rock and pop-centric Austin and the full-on country album, LP F1 Trillion. All right? So we already know he's already in another lane. He's transcended. He moved on. And this is what the conversation is if he wants to come back. Post posted a photo in April revealing that his highly anticipated upcoming album, The Eternal Buzz, will be a double album with 20 songs each. So it's going to be 40 songs, gang. So right now he's going to do what Drake just did, throw a whole bunch of shit to the wall, see what sticks. And you know the music industry is real finicky. You just saw what happened to Lizzo, so ain't no guarantees. So basically he's like, I need a hit bad. I need this record to pop because one day you up, the next day you down. It's kind of spooky out here with this music, gang. I'm just going to be honest. The 31-year-old musician disclosed on a Twitch stream December 2025, the same one where he injured his wrist attempting a backflip, that he planned on dropping 2 albums this year. Quote, chances are, chat, we're getting 2 albums in 2026 if everything goes my way. When asked by a fan about returning to rap not long ago, Post did not outright reject the idea, leading one to believe that there was a possibility. We've been in the studio working very, very hard, and there's a lot of awesome fucking shit, and that's all I can say. So apparently, it sounds like he's working on pretty much everything that comes to his mind, and hip-hop is one of the things that popped into his head. Malone announced in May that he was postponing a few early dates on his big-ass stadium tour to focus on finishing up the album. Truth is, I promised y'all beautiful people new music, and I don't have time to finish it before the tour starts. We ain't ready for the tour just yet, so I'm making a decision to push the tour back about 3 weeks to get this music done. Post also hinted at a return to rap, mentioning that he has not forgotten about Old Stoney in reference to his 2016 debut album Stoney, which featured breakout songs White Iverson, right? Remember that? And Congratulations. Quote, and a lot of the little stinkers that think I've forgotten about Old Stoney, I haven't, he wrote. All right, so end of the day, he got a whole long post about it. I'm not reading all that, but that's just pretty much alluding to his return to hip-hop space. In my opinion, man, we just saw Jack Harlow think he could throw on a neo-soul hat, right? A D'Angelo hat, or what you want to call it, or music soul child hat, tip it to the side, and start singing about black women, and then voila, right? He can do what we do. End of the day, it ain't that simple. We feel like all them other genres, they're great, this, that, and the third, to jump in, jump out. But with this hip-hop thing, especially when you're going to come and make a lot of money, and you don't respect it, you don't do features with us, you don't do nothing with us, and all of a sudden, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to say, well, Challz, you got a feature with the baby. Get it? Is some people going to have some stuff that they're going to say that he did to show his love of hip-hop? I don't see the love for hip-hop. You can let me know in the comments. I don't see Post Malone's love for hip-hop. I don't see a body of work that proves that he wants to be a part of this culture. And we take it serious over here. No, we don't want you dipping your toe in, making some pseudo fake-ass rap song that's going to be bumping in all the clubs from here to Nashville. Right? That's not what we want. He's going to do it anyway. It's going to happen anyway. It's going to blow up anyway. Ain't nothing we could say because hip-hop really at this point is global and people can do whatever they want. But down here, when you get to the nits and grits, the nitty-gritty of the culture, the people like myself that speak on this thing daily, you can keep it, Post. We don't want nothing to do with it. Go ahead and do your thing. Whatever you feel is whatever you feel. But if you asking us, we don't want nothing to do with it, gang. You got a lot of work to do before you prove to us that you want to get it really back into this culture the way you left it. Very, very sloppy. We didn't like it. I'm going to leave it at that, man. Listen, CLBMG, head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S., all right? Every Wednesday night, we go live on the What Show, me, TJ, and Fliz. Once we get back off this vacation break, ain't no stopping, gang. Also, I got a Patreon account. Just search Charles Brown on Patreon. You can join that account for free. I also do exclusive videos for that account, so tap in, lock in. New merch alert. This, that, and the third merch alert. The morning show. It's a new design by Diego. It's popping. We got all kind of stuff. If you click the link below, it got t-shirts, hats, mugs, aprons, all kind of stuff, hoodies, everything the body needs, like Homeboy said in the Matrix. All right. Last but not least, new music coming. The What Show. We doing a deluxe of the What Show. We just finished filming the video for Cruise Summer. All that's about to drop, man. Listen, we working over here, man. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm about to tap out. I'm gonna catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. And then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking. And all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.